Hello. So fine. So let's start the session. Share my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Fine. Fine. 1 second. Fine. In the previous session, we have learned about these arrays basic concepts like pushing, popping, shift, and unshift. These are all the concepts we have learned it. So let's go a little bit deeper into these array methods, commonly used array methods in the real time. Let's try to see it before closing of this arrays concept. So in our previous session, what we have did, so we have learned declaration of an array. So how to declare an array, and some of the methods like accessing the index, something like this. So now adding the element or value at the end of array, and also removing element. Also we have seen removing the value or element, anything. We have also seen something like adding the element at the starting and also removing element at the ending, of an array. So the methods that are used are nothing but what I can say is, so this is nothing but we need to use the push method, and also we have seen other methods also, something like pushing a of a dot length, like this also we have seen. And here what I can say is, now removing the values is nothing but a dot pop, and also you can use something like a of length, also you can do it. Now another one is removing an element, sorry, adding the element at the starting. Adding the element at the starting means nothing but a dot unshift we have used, and for this one a dot shift. So that's it. So these are the methods that we have learned, basic things in the array, pushing and so adding and removing and all those things. So now in this video, let's go somewhat deeper into this array methods, not deeper. So some of the methods we will try to learn. So by which we using these methods, how can we manipulate these arrays? Let's try to see it. The first one what I want to tell you is nothing but indexOf. So it's a very simple thing. So what this indexOf method will do is, it will tell you that whether a value is present or not. If a value is present or not in an array, it will tell you. And also what you can do, and also what it will try to do is, if it is present, okay, if it is present, it will give you the position of that value. So let's try to see this one in the practical implementation. Let's say that I have an array something like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a simple array I'm having. Now I want to know that whether 5 number is present or not. So if I want to check that whether any value is present or not, I can use simply a dot index. So normally what you can do is, so without using this method, you can for loop this one, and you will make a flag or something like where found is equal to 0. So this is a normal common method. So whenever you find that element, you will make it as found is equal to 1. So if found is there means you know that has been found. And also if you want, you can also post the index also. So I is nothing but the index of that one. So that is nothing, that is normally which we can do. Instead of doing those all the method, we can have a handy method that is nothing but a dot indexOf. So now if I want to check that whether a fifth element is present or not, so what I can do is, I can do a dot indexOf of 5. That's it. So it will tell you that whether this 5 value is present in this group of values or not, in an array or not. It will try to tell you. Let's try to do the console.log. So now if I try to do this console.log, or otherwise I will try to tell you, I will show you clearly. Where position, so you will get a position for this one. So a dot indexOf of 5 means it will give you the exact position, so where that value is present in this array. Now this value is present in such a way that 0, 1, 2, 3, right? 3 position, right? Let's try to see so whether it will give you the position as 3 or not. So now I am doing the console.log of position. Now if you try to see here, you are able to get that 3. So it is present, that 5 value is present in a position of 3. That is nothing but counting with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. Third position it is there. Let's try to take 2 value. So 2 value means it is present in the 0th location. So now let's try to see here 0. So now this is how we can find the index. So index means nothing but the index, the position of that value, whether that value is present or not. Now let's say that I am using 10. So that means the value which is not present in that array. Now what will the value of this position? So now if a value is not present in an array means, so what is the position it will try to give? So 0 means already it is there, right? So we know that 0 is nothing but not present. So now what is the value, what is the return value it will try to give you? So now here it will give you something like -1. So that means if you get -1 means, so you need to understand that that value is not present in this array. If you are getting 0 means it is present in the 0th element. So that means what you need to do. So here if you want to write a code that where element, so you want to check that whether this element is present or not. So now you need to check in such a way that where position is equal to a dot index of element. So you need to do like this. If position is equal to -1 means you need to write condition in such a way like this. Console.log element plus is not present in array. You will write logic like this, or otherwise else console.log element, sorry, so this is the element plus is present at the position. Okay, at this position you will write this like this. Now let's try to see the output. Now what I am trying to take, I am try to take this 4th element and I try to see the output. Now it is telling that 4 is present at the position of, try to take it so that you will not get confused. So now if you try to see, so 4 is present at the position of 2. So here it is 0, 1, 2. I will try to take the 10. So now if I try to see, so 10 is not present in an array. So now you will be able to get this output. So tomorrow if you want to check that whether an element is present in an array or not, don't try to do this like this. So if position, so that means if position is came means, then if position, if not of position, okay, if position is not there means, then you don't take it this something like this. So for example, if right now it will work. So for example, let's say that I will try to tell that 5 is present or not. Okay, so 10, what is this one coming? Okay, here I need to take 5, right? Yeah. So now I want to take the 5 means, so 5 is present at the position of 3. It is able to give me the output perfectly. Now when I try to take this one 2 means, now the problem comes. So it will tell that 2 is not present in an array, but actually 2 is present at the position of 0. So we should not use this type of condition. We need to use something like triple equal to -1 only. This is the thing you need to understand. So that's it. So this is all about this index of. So whenever you want to find an element in an array, so you need to use this index of. If the element is not present in an array means it will return you a -1, or otherwise if it is present means it will send you that particular index, particular position where that one is present in the array. So this is about the array index of method. Now we have learned about this index of. So O will be capital, everything will be camel case. Now let's try to see another method that is nothing but splice. So what is this? Array splice. Okay, so array splice. So array splice method where we will be using in the real time method is when we want to remove. Okay, so splice means when we want to remove a part of an array. So when we want to remove a part of an array, part means nothing but some part. So array is something like full part, right? So if you want to remove the middle part or something like that, some particular elements. So particular elements if you want to remove in an array, some part of an array, we will be using this splice method. I will show you this real-time example. Let's say that I am having where a is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so this is an what I can say array. Now what I want to do is, so here I want to get something like 2 3 and 4. So 2 3 and 4, or otherwise let's say that first I will try to show you. Okay, 2 3 and 4. So first I want to get this 2 3 and 4. So I want to get this part of an array. I want to remove this part of an array from this array. Now let's try to do, what I can do is, first one is a dot splice. Okay, so I need to use a dot splice. Now from where I want to use, first you need to give the position. So from 2 3 and 4, right? So starting from the 0 and 1. So I want to remove from first location. So that means from here onwards. And second one is the, so now here second one is nothing but you need to give the number of elements that you want to remove. So here I want to remove 2 3 and 4. That means three values, 3 elements. So 1 comma 3. Okay, so here you will get a new array. So new array. So here what is the parameters for this one? First one is the starting position. So from where you want to remove, starting from the 0 and 1. So here from 2 it will try to remove. And second one is the number of total count of the values. What are the things I want to remove? So here I want to remove something like 2 3 and 4. So if I try to do this console.log of new array. Okay, now let's try to see the output. So now you got exactly 2 3 and 4. So 3 elements. So for example, if I want to get only one element, so now you will see only one element I got. So number of count. So if I try to use something like 2 elements, so now you will get exactly this one. Okay, or otherwise, for example, let's say that I want to start from here, something like second position. So 0 1 2. I want to get 3 and 4 only. That means 2 elements only. So now 3 and 4. So if I try to see the output, the output is 3 and 4. So for example, let's say that from 3 onwards I want to cut total values, so up to the end of this array. So then what I can do is I can remove this last position, so that what it will try to do is from second position onwards, 0 1 2. So it will think that I want to remove all those elements. So what it will try to do, the output will be 3 4 and 5. Tomorrow if you have some other elements like 10 20 30 or something like this, so now it will remove all the values. So whatever the values, if you don't mention the count means, so it will think something like all the elements I need to remove. So the second parameter is the, don't get confused. So don't think of it as an end position. So for example, let's say that I want to start from 0th position and I want to get only one element. Okay, so now you will get only one only. You get only one. Don't think that up to here I will get that position. Okay, this is the a dot splice. And if you want to get all the things means, so from first position onwards I want to get all the things. So from here onwards, if I want to get all the things means, so here you will get this all the values. Okay, so this is all about. So for example, if I try to do -1 and from -1 onwards I want to get 3 elements, so you will get something like 30. So it will calculate from the end of the thing. So this one will be a little bit of confusing for everyone. So here, so now you take it as positive thing only. So now this is all about this splice thing. So now if you want to do this one, so from 0 1 to 3 elements means you will get an output of 2 3 4. Now let's try to see this new array. We got this 2 3 4. So what about this fold array? So what happens about this fold array? Console.log of a. So what happens about this fold array means, see here, if you try to see, it has removed 2 3 and 4 from this array, and 2 3, now the new array, so the new, not a, the old array, that means nothing but a, 2 3 4 elements has been removed. So now the output of this, result output for this a element is only 1 5 10 20 and 30. So that means splice will change the, so this will change the old array also. So it will give you a part of an array which it will remove the parts of the things. Okay, it will remove the parts of this thing. So this is about this splice. So whenever you want to remove or cut the part of a array from your what I can say, from your old array means, you will be using this splice thing. So it will splice it. Now let's try to see another one. So now we understood that, so this new array and this old array has been changed, so it is getting changed. Okay, now if I don't want to change this one, so I want to copy a part of this array, so that the old array should be remain like that only, so it should not change the so the what I can say, the state of this array should not change. So then what I can do is, so for that one I can use the method something like slice. Okay, slice method copies the part of an array, so without removing from the old array. So this is the difference between slice and splice. Okay, so this is the difference between slice and splice. So many people will be asking you in the interviews also this one. So splice and slice means it removes the part of a particular array, so that the old array also will be mutated. Mutated means nothing but changes. The state of the array also will changes. Whereas the slice only, it will not remove the part, it copies the part of an array into a separate, so it will give you a separate array and it copies the part of array without removing from the old array. Let's try to see the example for this one. So where a is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So now here if you want to use slice, means you will use a dot slice of 3 start position. First one is the start position. So now let's try to get the new array. So this is a new array. Okay, let's try to console.log it. So new array and console.log of old array. Sorry, a only, right? Old array means. So now I have declared an array of a 1 2 3 4 5, and now I have sliced it. So that means starting position 0 1 2 3. So from 4 onwards, so I didn't given the end thing. So that means up to the end of this array, it will try to cut it, and it will give you a new array. So whereas this old array will remain unchanged. But try to see the output. So now you got the output as 4 and 5, and the old array is still having these 4 and 5 values also, but it extracted the values from it. So for example, if I try to do something like array of slice of 1, so 0 and 1. So from starting from this 1 onwards, it will try to copy the entire elements up to the end of this array. Slice. So without, if you don't give the second parameter. If you try to see, the answer is, so the output is 2 3 4 and 5, and the old array is remain unchanged. So this is about this slice thing. So now if you want to get part of an array, something like 2 3 and 4. So now if you want to get part of an array 2 3 and 4 means, then what you will try to do is, so the second one is nothing but an end position. So you need to give the end position. So this is not the count of an array, so this is the end position. So nothing but 0 1 2 3. So this is the end position. So 2 3 will be the output for this one. So you got the 2 3. See, so this is not the count. You should not mistake the slice and splice. I don't know why the people have did it like this. So slice means the parameters are, first one is start position, slice of start position and the end position. Okay, and here another one is the so for splice is nothing but so start position and the count of the elements. So this one you need to remember. So for example, if I want to get 0 1 comma 1 means, so you will get empty array. Why? Because so you are trying to take 1 comma 1, so nothing is there to take from starting from here, so end it here only, so nothing is there to catch it. So 1 comma 2 means now you will get only one value. So now if you try to take it, so you will get the 2 value. So this is the only value I will get, so it needs to stop it from here, only this value. If I try to give it something like 1 comma 4 0 1, it will start from here 1 2 3 and 4 is there, right? So it will not take the fourth value, so 2 3 4 is the only that value. You got the output. Okay, so this is how you need to understand it. So you people able to understand the slice and splice method? So it's clear, right? So if you try to go in W3 school, so they will give you some more elaborately. Is okay, if you try to open this one, so you'll be able to see. So here if you try to see the syntax, I don't know whether you people are able to see it or not. Yeah, start means start position, default is 0. End means end position. Okay, whereas the splice, if you go to the splice, here, and here you will be able to get that the position and the number of items to be removed. So here is the how many count, second one is in count, and the first one is the position, whereas the slice has the start and ending index only. So start and end position. So this is the two difference between the slice and the splice. So these are the most important thing in the array, which you will be doing in the real time most time. So when you want to remove a part of an array means you will use the splice. When you want to copy the part of an array means we will use the slice thing. So most often we will be using in the real time the slice and splice. So these are the some of the methods so which you want to extract the part of an array. Now let's go to the another method. So that is nothing but filter. Okay, filtering an array. So if you want to filter an array, let's say that I have an array. So same thing, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't want to complicate the array. So now we are having an array which is holding the value something like this. And now I want to get the values which are greater than 4. Okay, greater than 4 means 5 and 6, right? So I want to filter the data from an array. Normally what you will try to do is, so you will try to take a new array. Okay, this is the common method. So you will loop over the for each, sorry, a dot. So these all things like this you need to practice it. So when you are trying to practice only, then you will get it. So I will have a function. So I will get each element. So now I will try to do if element is greater than 4. Okay, if element is greater than 4 means then I will try to push the values into the new array. That's it. So now I will try to get it console.log of new array, right? So this is common. So now when I want to filter an array, I want to get the values so which are exclusive to this one means, so now I will get 5, 6. So this is a common thing. So now what I am trying to do here, let's try to understand it. So I am taking an array and I am taking a normal array, okay, temporary array, and I am looping over this whole array. So I want, the requirement is for me, so I want the array, part of an array or something like this, okay, part of an array or anything, part of an array which are greater than 5. Okay, so normally you can say that this is a sorted array, so we can do something like sorting and all those things. So let's say that you are having something like this which is not a sorted array. Okay, so now we can use this type of scenario. Okay, 7, 7, 9. So we are able to get the values which are greater than 5. So now in array, so we instead of doing all this for each loop and all those things, so taking a dummy array and all those things, so we have a handy method. So that is nothing but filter. Okay, so filter, what you need to do, what you need to understand is filter will not alter the array. So filter will not alter the array. So just it will take the items. Just it will take the items present in the array and it will create a separate array. Okay, it might be confusing. So I told a very big line. So just a simple thing only. I will try to explain you in the real time. So a dot filter. So function of element. So this is the pay dot filter. So same thing. So don't think that this is a means it's an object and it is having a method, something like that. So we'll discuss about this, how we are trying to do this a dot filter. So what is this filter, from where this has came. So these all things we'll try to learn when we are learning the prototypes. So a dot filter, okay, when we are trying to do a dot filter, and this one will take an anonymous function. Okay, so same thing like what we have did. So for one we have did it, right? For this one, for each loop. So for each loop, same for each loop how we have did it. So the same scenario, it will take the function and it will take the each element, filter each element, and we will return the value which is element greater than 5. Okay, so now what we have did it. So a dot filter means each element will be stored in this element and it will tell that if it is true only, that element will be returned to this one. So now here you can use something like new array. That's it. So now whatever the values that are satisfying to this one, so it will create a new array and everything will be pushed here. Now if you try to see the console.log of new array and also this console.log of old array, also you need to see, right, whether it has changed or not. So now if we try to see the both arrays, so now we got the same output. So what we have did it previously using the for each loop, but this time we have used this handy filter method, and now we have got the value something like 779 without any problem. And also if we try to see that array, it has also not altered. So the array is same thing, like the same elements are there after performing this filter method. Also the same elements are present in this whole array. So that means it is not mutating, or that means it is not changing the whole array. So filter will filter the elements in the array. So depending on your satisfaction condition, so depending on the condition, it may be greater than or divided by 2 is equal to 0. So whatever the thing you want, whichever you want, you can do it. So now if I try to do it, so you are not getting anything. Okay, so now whichever you want, so sorry, divided by 2 using, right, you can use modulus or something like this. Now you will get 2, I think. So now you will get the 2. So why? Because only one element is there which is divisible by 2. Okay, so now here the element, whatever the condition you are trying to do it, so those condition, if it is satisfied, means that value is satisfied, means so that one is pushed into the new array. So this at the end, this new array will be nothing but the array which satisfies all the elements which satisfies the condition. So this is about this filtering an array. So when you are trying to filtering an array, so this is the how you will be doing it. Now in the same scenario, we will have another thing, nothing but a map thing. Okay, map, what it will try to do is, so map means it will also loop over all the elements. It will also loop over all elements in an array. Okay, so all elements in array, it will also loop over all the elements. But if you want to do some calculations to this one, means we will use this map operator. For example, let's try to show. I will show you. So I am having array is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is also most often we will be using filter, and map also will use it. Now what I want to do is each element of this array. So each element, what are the element I am having for this array, I want to add 10 to this one. Each element I want to add 10. So for each element I want to add 10, or otherwise I want to multiply with 10. So that means I want to make it 10 times this element. So what I can do, normally we can use this for each loop, and you can do something like you can do it. I don't want to write that condition. So here you can use this something like a dot map. Okay, and this one also takes the element function of element. Okay, so this is the thing. So now this one will loop over. So same thing, map also will loop over the each element. Now here what it will try to do is, it will try to return whatever the value you want to use. So for example, I want to do element into 10. Now each element, it will try to take the each element here, and it will multiply with 10, and it will give you a new array. Okay, so if I try to console.log, okay, if I try to do this console.log new array, now if we try to see the output, see what it has happened. So every element has become 10 times. So if we want to do any calculation for each element in an array, means you can use this map. For example, if you try to use something like element greater than 5, so what is the thing we have used in the filter? If you did this one, so what could be the output here? So will you get something like so greater than something like 3, you say? So you will get something like 4 or 5 output? No. So map will not give you this. So what is the answer for this one? It will try to return the value for each one. So for example, let's say that an element, so 1 has been entered into this element. Okay, so 1 greater than 3, it will check for this 1 greater than 3. Okay, the condition, what is this 1 greater than 3? It is false, right? So it is not greater than 3, false. This false will be pushed into this new array. So whatever the value you are getting, it will push into this array. Now you will try to check that false. So now you will get an option something like false, 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 true, true. It will tell you that situation for this one. So if you try to see the output, you will get the output something like, okay. So what is the return value for this one? What are the manipulations that you are trying to make it? It will try to, for example, if I want to do something like element into 3, means now it will take the first element and it will try to do element into 3. So you will get a 3. So it will be divided into 3. If I try to do the filter here, what it will happen? Okay, so let's try to see it. So you will get the same output. Why? Because element into 3 is an is it true only, so it will give you that value only. So like this it will try to do. So don't confuse with the map and a filter. So map means it will do the calculation and it will send you that one. Filter means it will filter the element from an array. So this is about this filter and map. And we have another thing, something like you people are watching, I am able to see that. So you have where a is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to reverse an array, so what you will try to do, a dot reverse. So you can use this a dot reverse. So direct method, this one. So now let's try to take this reverse array. Okay, a dot reverse. Now let's try to do the console.log of reverse array. What it will happen. And let's try to see this old array also. So this one is different thing. Okay. Now if you try to see the output for this one. So now you are getting an output in such a way that reverse array, you are getting the array as reverse. And also if you try to see, we are trying to print the old array. That old array also got reverse. So that means it is trying to change the array dot reverse, trying to change the state of this old value, old array also. So that means the old value, old array, a dot reverse means, so it will change the directly this old array. So this is about this a dot reverse. A dot reverse is directly simple one, so it will reverse the array, that's it. But it will reverse the old array. So it will, and also it will return you the reverse array. Whereas map does not return you like this. The old array will remain like that only, and it will return you a new array. Filter also will return you a new array. Old array will be like that only. So these are about this, what I can say, array methods. So some more methods are there, so which I will try to explain you. That is nothing but another one is concat method. So what is this array concat will do? So array concat, let's say we have an array if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have another array where b is equal to, so Leela, and I am having another name, something like hello world, something like this. I am having two arrays. Now I want to join these two arrays. So if I want to join these two arrays, what I can do is a dot concat of b. That's it. So it will concat the two arrays. It will join the two arrays. Now the resulting array will be a new array which has both the values. Now if I try to see this console.log of new array, so which has all the values joined, and let's try to print this old array also. We need to check all the time. Why? Because we need to check it. So now let's try to see this one. So if you try to see, so both the values, so that means both the array has been joined. The resulting array, new array, is a combination of these both things. Okay, combinedly these two things, and the old array has not been intactly changed. So now let's say that I want Leela and hello at the first time and 1, 2, 3, 4 at the last. Then what you can do is you can use simply. So I'm trying to explain you. You will be getting doubt this type of doubts. So you can use b.concat of here. Now this one at the middle. Okay. So this is about this concat. Concat is a very simple thing. So if you want to join two array means you can use this one. So now you have another method, something like join method. Okay. So array method has another thing, that's something like join. So join means nothing. It's very simple. So let's say that I'm having where a is equal to, so like this I'm having hello world. Yeah, I'm having 2 votes, some 3 votes, something like this. So I want to show this all the elements in an array as a string with a separator. So here I can do something like console.log or otherwise where tr is equal to a dot join. So I will try to do this join. So console.log of str. So it will the return value will be a string here. So now it will join all the values and it will give you a string. So if you try to see the output, so here you will be able to see hello comma world comma Leela. So now I don't want this comma, I want to have a space. So I can use a space here, so that hello space world space Leela will be the output. See? So now if you want to combine all the elements in array and you want to make it as a string means, so you can use this join, and also you can use a separator. So if you want to use, you can use colon also here. So that means all the elements will be divided with a colon. So this one is also very much useful in the real time. So when you want to extract all the values and you want to frame it as a string with a separator means, so we can use it like this. Sorry. So C, if you try to keep it means, so you will get C at the middle, the end of the at the each element you will get it. This is a simple separate join thing. So join thing return value is string, okay, not the array. So concat is an return value is an array. Filter, map, these all things return value is an array only. Reverse also gives an return value is array only. Whereas join, you need to understand it's a string. So another method I want to explain you. So last method I will try to explain you. So if you go on, we will have so many methods. So reduce method. Okay, so this is the most often we will be asked. They will be asking you in the interviews. So what is array reduce? What does this array reduce method will do? Anywhere in anything, anywhere you will see reduce method. So it will do does the same thing only. You have an element something like where a is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you want to use the reduce method. When we will use this reduce method is when you want to count all the values in an array and you want to get the resulting value for this one. Okay, so now what you can do for this one, resulting values, normally you will try to do, so you will have a something like where total is equal to 0. You will start it with the total is equal to 0 and you will loop over a dot for each, this one, right? Yeah, a dot for each and function of element. Normally we will do like this, and here we'll try to do something like total is equal to total plus element. That's it, right? So total is 0. First time it will come 0 and 0 plus 1 is 1 and it will be stored in the total, and second time the element will come 2. So 1 plus 2 3. So we are calculating the total of elements, total of all the elements present in an array. If I try to see the total, the output will be something around 15. So let's try to make it simple so that we will calculate it very easy. So now you know that 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So we get an output of 6. So like this calculation, for example, if I want to do the multiplication, then I can do it 1. Why? Because 0 into 1 is become 0. So then everything will be 0. So let's try to make it as 1. And now you get the same output 0. Try to make it as 0 means everything will be 0. You will get the 0. Don't do like this thing. So now, so you got an output of 6. Okay, so that means what we need to do. So here the logic is in a such a way that if you want to do the manipulation for all the elements, such that you want to get the multiplication or addition of all the elements you want to know. So what can we do is, for this one you can use it with you can do it with the reduce method. So how we can do it is, so if you want to calculate the total count of this one means, so let's try to comment out. Let's come down. I can use a dot reduce. Okay, so this one will take a function, and the first one will be having always the total value, and the second one will be the element value. Okay, you are able to understand it, right? And now what I can do here, return total plus value, element. That's it. Now if you try to see the output, so here you need to have the value, right? Total is equal to, and let's try to do the console.log of total. Now if you try to see the output, so what it will try to have, so you will have the same output as 6. Okay, if you try to do that something like 4, or otherwise I'll keep it as 2, so that you will have up to here 6, right? 6 into 2, 12. So now okay, I'm doing plus, right? 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay, you got an 8 output. Now what is happening here is, first it will try to calculate the a dot reduce. So the total element, first time the total value is 1. Okay, it will not go to into this one. So next time that element value will be 2. So now total is 1 first time and the element is 2. So now it will go here, 1 plus 2 it will do it. So now you got the 3. This time total will be 3. And now here you will have a 3 element. So element will update 3. Already total is 3. 3 plus 3 6. And this time 2. So this time total is 6. And here this is called as something like accumulator. Okay, you can call it in our programming terminology, we call it as an accumulator. In normal terminology, we say it as total. So normally we used to say it as accumulator. Okay. So now you have the element, the last element. So now the total is 6, right? So element 2, it will go 6 plus 2, 8. Again, the total will be assigned as an 8. So now they no elements are present. So that total we have is an accumulator here. So here is an accumulator, and we'll say, so total you are trying to print it. That's it, you are able to get our output. Now if you try to do the into, so now let's try to do the same thing. So first one will be assigned to this total, and no, it will not go into this one. Why? Because element is not assigned. So element will be assigned the second element. Now it will go 1 into 2. It's a 2. So the total will be 2 this time, and it will go 3, 2 into 3, 6. And total will be 6 this time. So it will go to the 2. Now 6 into 2, 12. So if you try to see the output, so now the output is 12. So people able to understand, right? This reduce method. So like this, if you want to do this one, so you can use this reduce method. So instead of doing this one all, so we can use this reduce method so that the total will take the value. So here what you can do is simply you can say something like a of 0. You can take first one as a of 0. So this is the only logic it is trying to do it here. So now let's try to do, so here you need to update it. So from second onwards you need to go instead of looping over from the first onwards. That is about the reduce method. So if you go here, so remaining all you can read it. So concat we have learned it. So these entries and all those things we learn in the ES65, because so this one will not work in the IE11 browser. If you try to see here, the support is in Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari. So for example, if you see the concat, so it is in the IE11 support also. So these are the things when you are trying to use the methods also, you need to check the browser support. So what is the browser support? We are able to see it. So this blue color, so this IE symbol is the IE11. So it is supports. Whereas the entries, if you try to see, it doesn't support. So we'll try to learn when we are trying to learn the advanced JavaScript. So IE11 doesn't support this entries thing. Every means this is also something like loop over. Okay. So loop over means filtering. So every age greater than say 18. So how this one is. So these are all the things you can learn over these all things. Okay. So this supports in the 9 to 11 also. So no problem. So filter we have learned. So these all are filters times find and filter. These all things are something like that only. For each we have learned includes. Includes is nothing but it's the latest one. So we'll learn in the latest one. So includes doesn't support in the 11. So indexOf we have learned. Is array means it will tell you that whether the array is an array or not. So this one also you can check it. So these are small things you can learn it by your own. So join we have seen. Keys means it will give you the keys. Last indexOf means something like it will give you the last indexOf. Length means we have already seen anything. Total count of the elements. Map we have seen. Pop we have seen. Prototypes we'll try to see about the prototypes. Push reduce we have seen. Okay. So reduce if you try to see. So total -1. So here you will be able to see these all things. Okay. If now you will be able to understand this reduce method, then you will understand. Reduce, right? So if you want, you can also check these all things. So rarely we'll use this all. Reverse, shift, slice, some also is nothing but looping or filter thing only. Sort, splice, toString, unshift value of. So these are the most of the main things we have covered it up. These things only will use mostly in the real time. So now what we have learned, array methods. So these things if you learn, it is more than enough. The array methods. Remaining all means you can learn it. So it's your own interest. So there is nothing. So we cannot cover more things in one class. So otherwise you will get bored. So we have learned array declaration. So let's recap what we have learned about the arrays thing. So before closing of this arrays concept, array declaration we have learned. Array length we have seen. So insertion means adding element. Adding element we have seen. So start at the start, end. So like this end position we have seen. And here we have seen removing element. So like this you can divide it so that you will be able to understand. So here removing element means nothing but at the start end. So you can use something like pop and shift, and here push and unshift. Now next onwards we have learned about another one is indexOf. So checking of this one. Next one is splice method. So which removes the part of an array. Slice method which copies the part of an array. And the another one is something like filter method which filters the array. So this is the more often we will be using. And we have also a sub part something like children like every, some, These all things are also there. If you want to check those things also does the same thing only. Filter we have seen, map we have seen, the difference between filter and map also we have seen, reverse we have seen, and concat. So these all things are different usage we will be using. So both are all are not related to each other. That is the reason I have explained you. Join we have seen, and reduce we have seen. These are the more common we will be using these array methods. So you remaining all, if you don't remember also not a problem, but these things you need to remember. So which one does the which one? So remaining all means we cannot our brain will not remember all those things. We'll get confused. So which one will do which one? So what is the syntax? We need to refer these all W3 schools and something like that. But if you practice these things means more than enough. It will, they will not so interview also they will not ask you more than this one. That's it about this array. So are you people able to understand about this array concept? So fine, right? So let's move on to this another concept. What is the time? Okay. So let's move on to this another concept. I will tell you the objects basics. Object. We have learned so many data types up to now. So now this one is an objects. So let's try to learn about this objects. If you try to see here where a is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3, this is an array, right? So now if you try to print console.log type of a, now what is the type of this one? So we know that this is an object. So that means array is also one type of object. Now we are learning actually what is an object. Okay, now let's go on to this object basics. Okay, object basics. Object basics is nothing but object, so object declaration and all those things. We'll try to see it today. So now this is the so the JavaScript, everything is an object based only. So it will all depends on this object based only. Let's try to create an object. So I have a something like where employee. Okay, so he is an employee. I am having employee details. So now for example, let's say that I will try to miss it. So I have an employee. Okay, so let's try to write it overall instead of writing programmatically. So I have an employee. So his name is, let's say my name only, Leela, and his location is something like Hyderabad, and his job is web developer, let's say. So these are the details for this guy. Okay, these are the details for this guy. So gender is something like male, let's say. These are the details of this guy. So now what I want to tell you is, so now I want to represent this one in a programmatically. So we can represent this one using an object. So if you try to take as an array, something like I want his name as Leela, and I want to make it as location of Hyderabad. So now I want to make it as web developer, and his thing is something like male, let's say. So this is an array what I have declared. Now this array, so this one is works fine. So this one is normal, fine only. But here the thing what you are trying to tell us, so it is not what I can say is so declarative thing. Leela, so what is this guy? So is this a name or a location? So Hyderabad, so is this the name or location? Web developer, what is this? What is this one? So is this the position or the so something like that? So we cannot able to tell what is the meaning of this one. So you have given the values of this one. We don't know what each value, what is that, what is the name of this each value. So we cannot able to do it. So array is not a proper format for this one. So what we can do is, instead of using this array, so we can use an object. So we can give an object something like name. So the name of this guy is Leela, and the location. Okay, so the location is this guy is Hyderabad. If you want, you can give single quotes for this one also, not a problem. So anything you can give it, not a problem. Okay, so location for this guy is Hyderabad. I will try to tell you. So now, so job or anything, position or anything. So position or job or anything. So web developer, and another one is a gender. I think it is male. So now this one gives you a correct representation of this one. So I'm able to say that, okay, the name of this guy is Leela, location is working in Hyderabad. Okay, I am able to see this all the details. Now if I want to console.log of this element, employee. Now if I try to see the console.log of this employee, I'm able to see that this one is an object having gender, location, name. So the position does not matters here. What I can say, the name, position, this does not matter. So just see that object, gender, location. So we are able to see it clearly. Okay, so this is the how we can represent. Now I want to get the employee name. So how can I get? I can use dot name here. Employee dot name. And if you are having like this, so employee dot name. Okay, so now what I can do here, I'm able to get the only the output of this one. So now if you are having single name like this means, so there is no need to give the single quotes here. So not a problem. So if you give also not a problem, if you don't give also not a problem, then also it will work. I will try to tell you when you need to give the single quotes. So now if I try to run it, so then also you are getting the output as Leela. So now I want to get the location of this guy means I can use this location. Okay, Hyderabad. I'm able to see this one. So this is how the basic of the object declaration will be in JavaScript. Now let's say that let's try to see the type of this employee. Console.log type of this employee. Now if I want to see the type of this employee, what is the type of this employee? It is nothing but an object. So that means the data type of this variable is an object. In the previous time array also we have seen it as an object. So these are all object type notation only. Now let's try to see something like type of employee.name. So I'm trying to see the type of this employee.name. So this type I want to see. So what is this one? So it is a string. So that means this is not an object. Why? Because so the parent variable is an object. So don't think that the variables the keys what are present inside this object is also an object. Don't think like that. So that means object can hold. So object can hold multiple data types, right? Multiple data types it can hold it. So now you can have something like, so you can also say something like hobbies, you can say, and you can have an array code, something like this. We can write the hobbies of this one. Now if you try to see this type of employee.have hobbies, you can see that is again an object. Why? Because array is an object, we know that one. So if you try to see gender means, so you can see as a string. Okay, so this is all you can, like this you can give. Or otherwise you can also give in a such a way that, okay, so you can also give in a such a way that you can also have inside this one, okay, so you can see something like personal, home location, like this you can give. I will say something like this you can give. So I can also create another object. I can create hobbies here, and I can give something like here inside this one I can do. So these are comes under this personal thing, something like this. So now it has become in a such a way that the object, name, location, position, gender, these all things are there. Personal is again object here. Okay, so it is an object, and inside this one you are having home location and hobbies. Now if you try to see this home location, so if you want to access this home location means you need to go employee.personal.home location. So that means you can give .home location here. Now if you try to see the output, you'll be able to see the USA. And if you try to see this type of thing, so it is of type string. Okay, if I try to keep something like number, so let's say I'm keeping a number. If I try to see this one, it is a number. Okay, so like this the basics of the object. Now let's say that, so not only with the dot notation, so here let's try to say that I'm having console.log. okay, so I'm having employee.name. I'm having this one, right? Employee.name. So you are able to see this name, right? So we can also use something like so we know that this one is an object. And array is also an object, so something like where employee. We can also do this for all things, right? So we have implemented array of Leela, something like this we have did it. Sin is also correct only, but we don't know what is the actual meaning of this value. So we don't know the meaning of this value, whether it is a name or a person name or a something like this, we don't know. So now, for example, if you want to access this one, you can use something like employee of 0. Okay, employee. Okay, 2 employees has become employee 1. Okay, so now we are able to get is as the of 0, we can be able to get it. For example, if you want to get these details, means from an object you can see that employee dot name, so you are able to get it. Why? So both are objects, why can't you do like this? Okay, so of 0, so when you are trying to keep of 0, we are able to get it. Now I will try to keep employee of name, so will you able to get this output? We are getting it as undefined. Why? Because here name means it is trying to search for a what I can say, the variable name. So where, for example, here it is trying to search for a variable name, something like this. So it is trying to search for a variable name here. So instead of this one, so if you want to have this one means, so you can use something like name here, like this you can use it. Now it will try to know that name, employee of name, so this key you want it. So now if you try to see the same output, you will be able to get. So this scenario and this scenario is one and the same only. Employee dot name. So when you are trying to use it as something like array notation of 0 of 1 means, you can use it like this. So like this. Okay, so both are one and the same. So these are the basic types of objects. So I don't want to go deep into this one, so tomorrow we'll discuss about the objects. So this is the basic introduction. So tomorrow we'll see some more implementation of this object, and we will see the different ways of creating an object. So did you understand today's array methods? So fine, right?